Charles. Now let's come back to more legislation. And of course, we've been reporting on the implications of the Investigatory Powers Amendment Act since well before it gained royal assent last September. But as a reminder, it amended the so-called Snoopers Charter to enable even more data collection and surveillance of the general public by our democratic regime. It enables a surveillance free for all by the security services. We can say goodbye to privacy and so on, but it also places huge limitations on the ability of tech companies to provide us with any kind of useful security or control over our own data when we use their devices. And worst of all, it prevents tech companies from disclosing that government has been making any kind of backdoor to use our data, or that they've received any kind of request for access to data that's held on their systems. Again, because we live in a democracy. And as we reported last week, the UK regime has taken Apple to court to force them to remove the end-to-end encryption facility provided by their iCloud data storage platform. Now, Apple has decided to comply with this by removing the facility from UK customers. And they say, we are gravely disappointed that the protections provided by advanced data protection will not be available to our customers in the UK, given the continuing rise of data breaches and other threats to customer privacy. Now, while this is not surprising, I'm going to say it's pretty pathetic by Apple that they've taken this decision. It could be argued that had Apple not complied, they would have been required to create a backdoor, not just for users in the UK, but for people around the world, regardless of whether they were UK citizens or not. But the question now, for me at least, is what are WhatsApp and Samsung going to do, because they have similar end-to-end encryption practices in place. So we're going to have to wait and see what they do. But that is perhaps a disappointing decision by Apple to do it this way. And maybe they felt that they had no choice, but we'll talk a bit more about that in Extra as well.